SD.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Kaplan and Crew with just the crew. Just a twosome today, Browner. Myself and Browner. No Lawhead, no Scott. I think Scott is stuck in traffic coming back from LA after being LA Cap last night with the excitement happening at Crypto.com Arena. And Lawhead is out in the South somewhere. I don't know if he's in Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, Georgia, South. I don't know where he's at, but it's just me and Browner today. We are brought to you by 7 Mile Casino. 7milecasino.com, just minutes away from downtown San Diego. All of your favorite table games happening at 7 Mile Casino. And happening May 4th. I'm not going to say any details, Browner. I've locked down everything. I've got every detail. I got price. I got time. I got performers. I got menu. I got QR codes. I got everything. But guess what? Scott said Thursday, so I'll say nothing today before you start yelling at me. But put it on your calendar, May 4th. That's it. May 4th, 7 Mile Casino, the Great Friends Reunion. I think that's what I'm calling it. The Great Friends Reunion, the Great Friends Comedy Show, the Great Friends Dinner. I don't know, but it's happening May 4th, 7 Mile Casino. Go to kaplanandcrew.com for more information. It's kind of already there. So, oh yeah, and also, it's supposed to be fun if you do play those table games. And if you have any problems, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Browner, just me and you today. How you feeling?
I mean, I'm feeling better than the Timberwolves this morning.
I don't think they feel particularly bad, to be honest.
If you choke a game away like that, props to the Lakers. You got to win these games. You got to win these games. But if you are short on the bench as they were, and you got guys battling, and you have a 15-point lead in the first half and a decent lead in the second half, Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards got to close the deal. They got to, and they didn't. So I'm feeling better than them, but I'm not feeling better than the Padres because they did their thing yesterday too. You know, Bogaerts, baby, you could be the shortstop. It's settled. You could be the shortstop.
Hold on 1 second.
You could be the shortstop.
Wow. Hold on. Timeout. Not where I was going to start the show today, but now this is the only place I'm going.
Well, okay, well, back up there. Back up. My bad. Do your thing.
No, this is much more important than where I was going to start the show. This is much more important than where I was going to start the show. Say what you just said. Say what you just said again.
Wait, how is that more important than what you was going to do to start the show?
Because I'll get to what I was going to start the show with because it was going to be stupid and silly. That's how I know. But what you just said is breaking news here. Like, I don't have the the breaking news ticker. John Browner said what?
Hey, man, listen. He could be the shortstop.
12 games.
He could be the shortstop. Here's why.
Going into today, obviously they played this morning. Going into today at 7-5, hitting another home run yesterday to really seal the victory. That actually ended up being the game-winning home run because the Mets did get a run.
2.
You think that Xander Bogaerts officially, with Tatis being 1 week away, by the way, Bogaerts, stamp him every single day, lineup card, shortstop.
Listen, man, I have a saying, and in sports, you can lose your job to injury. People say, oh, you can't lose your job. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because you're in your absence, if your absence is filled in with somebody doing just as good as you, if not better, then I don't really know what you want them to do. Bogaerts has been sensational. We talked about this yesterday of Manny being a slow start. We have a lot of slow starters. Soto, slow starter, batting 190 again. We've got a couple of slow starters that are very important to this franchise. He clearly is not. Now, he may be somebody. I don't see him tailing off in the end either because, again, I didn't watch a lot of Red Sox games. I will fully admit. I don't know. But one of my things is when you put my uniform on, what do you do? What do you do? The man has been excellent. He has been utterly
defensively excellent too. Defensively
all around,
just solid.
I know. Man.
I think in baseball, offense always steals the show. That's just the way it is, right?
Yeah.
You hit home runs, you hit 300, whatever it is. But I think if you watch the Padres and you watch defensively, I think Kim is still working through some stuff at second. I think Cronenworth has done an excellent job at first.
Fantastic.
Xander's done an incredible job at shortstop. He's made diving plays. He seems to cover very well. I think that discussion wasn't even a discussion. You did. But
Yeah.
through the first 12 games and with Tatis 8 days away, I still don't think it's a discussion. If anything, I think he's put that thing in Sharpie.
Listen, that's his position. Everybody knows how big of a Tatis fan I am. But his production and his defensive skills have put me at ease. And wherever Tatis is and will be the everyday whatever they put him at. But at this point in time, for me, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Going into today, he leads the team in hits with 15, leads the team in home runs with 4, led the team in RBIs with 10, leads the team with batting average 333, leads the team in on-base percentage with 426, and has just been like everything that you would want him to be defensively.
Yes. And
that's 12 games in of 162. We got 150 to go, 149 to go after today. But I think he's as advertised. He's called one of the best pure hitters in baseball.
Yes.
He hit over 300 last year, which is I think a handful of guys did that last year. It wasn't very many dudes that did that.
And with the level of specialty pitching and guys, well, I mean, it's not really as specialty as it was one point when they could just run a guy to the bullpen just to face you. But in an era where guys are coming in throwing 90, 99, 95, 101 out of the bullpen, this guy still hit 300 last year, and he looks like he'll be able to hit 300 again this year. And adding Tatis to that mix, I'm not worried. But batting 190 is an issue for me if the guy is one of the best hitters in baseball. And that's what we were told. That's what he was before he got here. Xander Bogaerts had the same title, but he's proving his title to be as stated. We're not getting that from Soto. I believe it will come. Will come. But to see Bogaerts excel and at the beginning of a long season, to see him excel right out of the gate, listen, I'm in. I mean,
Xander Bogaerts is a very good hitter. Like, that's just the way it is. He's not a power guy, but he's a very good hitter. He gets a lot of hits. He's hit over 300 4 times in his career when he was in Boston. If he does it again, that's 5 times this year with San Diego. So he's doing as expected. Yeah, Juan Soto has struggled since he's been here. And I know that's the guy you're referencing hitting, 190, you said?
Yes, I think it's 190 something.
Yeah, I think that there's guys that the pitch clock, I know you and Scott don't want to even bring it up, but I think that there's certain guys where it doesn't bother, and there's certain guys where it bothers. Manny had a big hit yesterday, brought in some runs, but he's still also going off to a slow start. Soto immediately, first weekend here in San Diego's, I hate the pitch clock. And listen, you're going to have to get through it. The pitch clock ain't going anywhere, but I still think that it's bothering him on top of, what I think what's a little bit concerning is that he was having such a good spring and he had such a good World Baseball Classic that you thought it was going to carry over. But I'm not going to write the guy off for 2 months and 12 days or 12 games. We'll see. If he's hitting 190 in June, then we have an issue.
I'm not writing him off either. I am just looking at this from an aspect of we've got this new guy in who kind of came with the same accolades, just older, with his ability to hit, his ability to field, his MVP level credentials is what Xander Bogaerts was touted as. And he's been every bit of that since he put that uniform on. The hype around Juan Soto, the massive news-breaking thing that happened that brought him here,
we haven't seen it yet.
Right.
We haven't seen it yet.
At all.
Right.
He had a moment. He had a moment in the playoff.
He had a big hit against the Dodgers.
Right. But
huge hit against, scored the go-ahead run against the Dodgers. Right. But you're right. He hasn't gone on a streak here where you're like, damn, this is the dude. He hasn't even gone on a streak yet. He's put up numbers. He's walked. He gets on base all the time. But now he's striking out a lot so far this year. So hopefully he can adjust.
We'll see. And it's not about, there are not guys around him in the lineup. This lineup is littered with dudes, man.
Yeah.
It's littered with dudes. So as long as you keep Grisham at the top.
Yeah, I'm predicting a nice year for Grisham, but he will not be the leadoff hitter in 8 days.
No, please no. Please
Which is
no.
okay. That's that's fine. I don't think anybody's expecting Trent Grisham to be a 260 great leadoff hitter on the stealing base. I don't think that's what we expect from him. I think we all are aware that the leadoff hitter is currently playing for the Chihuahuas.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Because if Tatis comes back and I see a single day Grisham is hitting leadoff, I might vomit.
I mean, it
I
might
can't.
happen
I
if
can't
Tatis
take
has
it.
a day off, or if someone, days off happen. I mean, Bogaerts had a day off at short. It happens. He played
Put
DH
somebody
that
else
day.
up there. Put somebody else up there, man. I don't put Soto there. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
What's
care.
funny is that yesterday we had this whole discussion about Manny having a slow start or whatnot. Yeah, going into today, he's second on the team with hits. He has a pretty decent. He has like pretty average batting average. He just hasn't hit a home run yet. He's not really driving in runs until last night. So things change. It's easy. I mean, it's not easy. It's early. Excuse me. It's early in the baseball season. But I just think
And that, but that,
I completely understand what you're saying. Is when you spend $280 million on a guy and he's advertised as such, for him to then come in here and perform as such to start, it leaves a great taste in your mouth, as opposed to being sold this incredible gift basket of Juan Soto, of the best hitter, power,
yes,
RBIs, on base, doesn't strike out. And, 6 months later, we still haven't seen it, at least an extended period. There's been a game here or two that he's done it. There's been moments that he's done it.
right.
So I completely understand what you're saying. It's nice to buy something and feel good about it right away, as opposed for it to wait for it to pay off. I get what you're saying.
We're in a wait pattern with him. We're
Yeah.
in a total wait pattern with him. So I have full confidence that he'll find his stroke and he'll pick up where he left off with the Nationals for us. But what Xander Bogaerts has been able to do has absolutely won me over in a very, very small sample size in a very large season.
And here's the thing. If the Padres are a good team, and I'm
Which
going
I
to get
believe they
way
are.
ahead of myself. I'm going to get way ahead of myself real quick. If the Padres are a good team, what I mean by that is like division contenders or champions,
Mm-hmm.
another deep playoff run, and Juan
Mm-hmm.
Soto is not that guy, it makes your decision a lot easier of what you're going to do with him. It
Oh
makes it a
man,
lot
listen.
easier of what you're going to do with them. Because you're not going to start dangling $500 million. I genuinely think there is pessimism of if they were even going to do it in the first place. I know that Peter Seiler recently said that he's in the priority list ish. He's not the priority. Obviously, they gave Jake Cronenworth X amount of money, and he's going to be here till he's 36 years old now too. If you're not here until after your mid 30s, then I don't think you're on the max
They don't. They
priority
don't.
list.
They don't care about you.
They
They don't care
don't care
about you.
about you. I
They don't
think
care
that
about
there
you.
is. I think that there is some hesitance or difference of opinion with the front office and Peter Seidler on Juan Soto. I don't think that they are all on the same page when it comes to him, which is why you haven't heard of they're trying to sign him. They keep saying like talks will, they'll obviously teams put out feelers, right? Talks to his agent,
Right.
let's see what he's looking for. We already know what he rejected in Washington, so that makes it a little easier. But I don't think that there's this push for it, because I think internally, this is without talking to a single person with no sources, there is a difference of opinion on the future of Juan Soto and if he's worth the money that has been tossed around when you refer to Juan Soto, especially, and I know this is where I lose you, especially when you're seeing what a guy 70 miles north is doing and the numbers that's going to be thrown at him.
Look, man. The idea that they said Manny was going to, not talk about it, and we're after this point, we're not talking about the deal anymore. We'll get it at the end of the season. I think that this idea that uh, that Soto and his people may have of him playing his way into this record-breaking contract,
Mm-hmm.
that may be swinging in a different direction too.
Yeah.
Because they've also got to be looking around, going, "Yeah, it's early, it's early."
Yeah.
But listen,
I mean,
this is what they
what
offer.
he did last year, what he's done in 12 games this year. before today, it's not a $400 million guy. It's not a $300 million guy.
I'll do you one better. I'll give you a better explanation as to why this from last year to now, these 12
By the way,
games,
I
like
knew
you
this
just
was going to happen. I knew
What?
this was going to happen. He just hit a home run. First inning.
Ah!
I knew this was going to happen. I had this feeling. I was like, we are talking about it, and I'm saying coming into today, because I knew I had this sinking feeling like this dude's going to do. We're sitting here. If you're watching on YouTube, you know what time we do this.
Right.
Soto hit a home run in the first inning today. I knew that was going to happen. That's his third home run, by the way.
I'm going to stick with what
he's playing. The homeboy's got 3 home runs already this year.
I'm going to stick with what I'm saying, which is this. At the rate he's doing things, which sounds funny now, at the rate he's doing things, it would make his agent go to the team talking about a contract.
I think he hit that ball all the way to New Jersey, by the way.
Not the team. And not the team coming to him trying to get the deal done. So,
that is a home run derby level of distance that he just put on that ball. Oh, my goodness. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. But I will say this. Right now, I love that you started off because I was going to talk about Tatis today. Because of the time that the Padres played today, I wanted to talk about Tatis and how he looks so far in El Paso. My biggest concern now is, remember we said, like, just stay healthy. Just don't do anything. We understand you got to get ready. You want to stay physically prepared to start the season, which is going to be a full marathon for him. He's not going to have any restrictions when he comes up here. And then said the same thing about Musgrove, and then he tries to do some, I don't know what that was. And now he got his start pushed back. He had to get a cortisone injection yesterday. So I don't know when we're going to see Joe Musgrove. But what Fernando Tatis has done so far down in El Paso, I mean, how exciting is this, JB? When you got Xander doing what he's doing already, and you see that Tatis yesterday goes 3 for 3. He's now hitting 353, a homer, 3 RBIs, slugging 533, and he's being very patient. He's got 6 walks with El Paso. And you know that he's 8 days away. He's 8 days away from being back. This is a very amazing thing to look forward to if you're a Padres fan right now.
I honestly think that his return will literally be the thing that sets this whole thing in motion in a way that we are all anticipating, because they kind of got off to a slow start.
Yeah.
His addition, with the exception of one guy.
0-2. They were 0-2.
With the exception of one guy cooking out the gate, we were kind of left like, well, yeah, let's go State.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was a nice distraction to the slow start.
With our full attention on them, we've now gone like, when he gets here, his energy, his base stealing ability, his athleticism, to infuse that in this lineup at the top of it, is going to make a massive, massive, massive impact. I think
when you are a starting pitcher, and this is zero disrespect to Trent Grisham, when you're looking as a starting pitcher,
no, you ain't got to say that. You ain't got to say that. You ain't got to be like, this ain't no disrespect.
Because Trent Grisham is my dark horse for the breakout player of the year. I'm going to stick with that. I've said that. I'm going to stick with that. But here's my point.
Gone with that.
I think he's going to hit like over 15 home runs this year for Trent Grisham, by the way. I don't even know what he hit last. I don't know what he hit last year.
What are you talking about? Trent Grisham is not going to hit. Bro, we're talking about the guy who was batting 091.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Where you going to find 15 home runs?
He hit 17 last year.
All right.
He did.
All right.
He did. Here, this is what I was going to say before we get distracted. Trent Grisham is my dark horse to be the breakout player of the year, okay? I know a lot of people are looking at Campusano. I know a lot of people are looking at Jake Cronenworth having a big offensive year. I'm telling you, I think it's Trent Grisham. He might even hit above 20 home runs this year. That's what I'm telling you, John. You know what? Write it down, Joe Rigby. People were giving me so much crap yesterday. People were giving me so much crap yesterday about my Scarface.
As they should have.
Add this one to the grande facts. Trent Grisham, over 20 home runs this year. Calling it now. Here's what I was going to say. If you're an opposing
you're going to get your own bracket. You're going to get your own section of the bracket.
I'm
You're
down.
gonna be Alex is gonna be the West Coast. He's gonna be the West.
Yeah,
Yikes.
dude. If I have outlandish takes, we can just do a Grande versus Browner hot take
Yeah.
bracket next year if that's the way it's got to go.
That's the way you go. That's the way you trending right now.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea because Scott says things sometimes too. It's not a bad idea for next year to incorporate. I mean, you do give us
Everybody.
plenty. You do give us
Listen,
plenty.
I
But if
will
we get
happily
60,
share.
we could get a solid 32 takes if you incorporate me and Scott. We don't have to
Yeah.
start at 16. We could start at a 32.
Listen, man. Listen.
All right, hold on. Before we come back, listen.
We already at that number.
Pitchers gonna be trembling when they see Tatis instead of Grisham leading off. When you go Tatis, Machado, Soto, Xander, good luck. That's all I was gonna say. When we come
Stop
back,
talking about
let's
Trey
talk
Grisham.
about Let's talk about what happened last night at Crypto.com Arena. Let's talk about that with our NBA insider, Harrison Faigen from SB Nation. We'll get to that next.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and YurView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely pundit panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained?
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray Lambert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylambert.com for your consultation.
The #1 disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermat.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and YurView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
After an accident, you could be faced with a maze of confusion. There are medical bills, lost time at work, not to mention taking on the big insurance companies alone. But with the Barnes firm on your side, they can help you get compensated for your troubles. And they'll help you get the best result possible. Call the Barnes firm now at 1-800-8-MILLION for a free consultation.
The number one disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need. Service dogs can range anywhere from $15,000 to $35,000, $40,000. And for someone getting out of the military that's seeking support and help, having that sort of price tag is daunting. So we really wanted to be able to support the veterans to make sure that they're getting a dog that they need in their life at no charge.
I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us. So I found Shelter to Soldier online, and I reached out, and somebody contacted me within 24 hours. And in the next couple of weeks, I was already in the program meeting dogs.
YurView Community Spotlight is brought to you by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Flood.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that. Most notably, those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
Since 1971, the LGBTQ Center OC has been a pillar of the Orange County community, proudly empowering and advocating for the queer individuals and families who need our support. We've sustained a safe space for the community for more than 50 years and continue to grow the wealth of resources that the people of Orange County rely on. It's true that it gets better. Until it does, the LGBTQ Center OC is here, and we've got you.
The San Diego Children's Discovery Museum is a children's museum that serves San Diego County. Our area of focus is children between the ages of 0 to 10, but primarily 0 to about the ages of 7. We teach children in an informal, experience-based environment, specifically foundational fluencies, social emotional learning, and purposeful play.
We started PNC Grow Up Great in 2004. It is now a $500 million bilingual early education program, all focused on reaching young children from birth to age 5, with a particular emphasis on reaching low and moderate income children to help prepare them for school and life.
And we've been looking for partners, and that's how we got to the San Diego Children's Museum. They specifically have a new mobile unit where they bring STEM-related educational services to kids that can't make it to the museum.
We both believe in bringing innovative platforms of learning to children all over the county.
I think I'm going to build the castle.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
Learn about the many health benefits of MedCline pillows, from easing shoulder pain, reflux relief, and just getting a great night of sleep. Watch Your Health only on YurView, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
The number one disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content. And of course, check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
From New York City comes America's longest running and most popular rugby show. The biggest names in Major League Rugby, MLR highlights, and big match previews. Rugby Wrap-Up presents MLR Weekly, made in New York City.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Kaplan and Crew with just the crew, Alex Padilla and John Browner just today. Scott back tomorrow. And then we'll continue with our normal stuff. But right now, joining us, our NBA Insider. I don't know if he calls himself an NBA Insider, but on this show, he's our NBA Insider. It's Harrison Faigen from SB Nation. Harrison, how are you, dude? Good to talk to you. It's been a while.
I'm doing good. I always appreciate the NBA Insider intro. I don't know if I can necessarily live up to that, but I will try. And you guys are more than the crew to me. Okay,
Oh, sure.
I don't understand why you guys don't get name billing. It's unbelievable. Like it's just honestly selfish on Scott's part. Like
it's ego.
Yeah, you guys are more. You guys are hosting the whole show today. You should be allowed to just call it.
I think in
like Browner and
2023,
Padilla.
I think in 2023, the both of us have hosted more shows than he's been on. So,
Oh yeah,
unbelievable.
he's
Facts.
taking the Jim Rome approach. This guy's taking vacation on vacation on vacation. That dude wasn't even here last week, and now he's off today.
No, he wasn't.
It's because
Crazy.
he's big time now. He was up at Crypto yesterday, hanging out with Kevin Harlan.
Oh my God.
Probably
Guy's
was
a habitual name dropper. He's a habitual
No, I
name
mean you
dropper.
know what I've always said, Scott. Like laziest man in sports media, just definitely doesn't have 57 different jobs. Like he's just taking days off. Unbelievable.
I tell him that all the time, dude. I was like, enough with the days off, man. Enough. But whatever. Harrison, were you at Crypto or were you watching on TV like the rest of us?
No, I was much like I'm sure you were, Alex. I was just pacing around my living room, losing my mind during the course of that game.
So I have
this guy.
I'll be completely honest here, Browner. I thought I was a changed person, Harrison. I am a San Diego State alum. I went to Houston for the Final Four. If you see the shot of Lamont Butler hitting that game winner against FAU, you'll see me right behind him going like this.
Oh, I gotta look for that. I didn't catch you there.
It was an incredible. It was like how people go to these like religious experiences and they just come out a changed person. That was me in Houston. I left that arena a changed man, and positive Padilla came out. Like that was the birth of positive me. I am the most pessimistic, negative person when it comes to sports. Never. That's probably because of the teams that I root for. But still. I went into this game.
Lakers fans just so put upon historically.
Well, recently, recently.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, you have all the San Diego sports stuff, so you're actually one of the few Lakers fans allowed to claim that. I think.
Right. I mean, thank you. So, I left Houston and I was like, I think I'm just a positive. I'm gonna be optimistic about my teams. And I told Browner, will this game be close? Yes, because that's what the Lakers do. But will they win this game? Yes, they will. They'll eventually pull it out at the end, which they did somehow. And then Anthony Davis decided to do whatever the hell that was against Mike Conley with 0.1 seconds remaining. So I wasn't pacing around, but I had to align the universe, and negative me had to come back out. And I text Browner a clip of Frank the Tank yelling, "It's over. It's freaking over." And I started panicking. So once that happened, they erased a 15-point deficit like that. So I think I got to stay negative, Harrison.
Yeah, that's what we've learned. I don't, again, if you go to therapy, I'm not sure like that's what your therapist would tell you to do is just to be negative all the time. But I think for the Lakers' sake, you may have to take one for the team and just destroy your own self-esteem and, positive vibes.
I think so. I think that's totally fine. I've already come to terms that they will not beat the Grizzlies. They may not even win a game. To be honest with you.
Listen, man.
Right.
He was back in full form last night. We're texting about the game. This guy's second quarter. I can't take it. It's over. It's over. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Only the Lakers would face a team without Rudy Gobert, without McDaniels, and then these dudes that are like Mike Conley should be a Laker because he's 40 years old. Was he 6 of 6 yesterday from 3 at some point? Guys that I've never even heard of were making threes at an astonishing rate. I think they were shooting 65% or something like that from 3. How can I not feel that way? Harrison, did you think the Wolves would ever miss a 3 in the second? Like, it just felt like they're making everything.
Yeah, I mean, in the first half, it certainly did not appear like they were going to miss a whole lot going into the second half. I think the Lakers did some good stuff kind of defensively and, just law of averages kind of cooled them down a little bit going into that second half as they were able to kind of make that comeback. But yeah, I mean, it certainly did not look good there for a while. In the first half when they went down by 15, I was kind of starting to, I was looking at the schedule, like, okay, they're going to play Friday, it's probably the Thunder Pelicans, like starting to try and think about my thoughts on that matchup. Can the Lakers win after coming out this flat, in a must-win game? And then, it's funny, you talk about having to go back to the negative place. I was talking to our friend Anthony Irwin on our podcast last night, and we were discussing, like, it almost brought me back to a positive place, because if the Lakers can play that horrifically and still win, I'm almost weirdly more confident that, they're probably not going to play that badly again against the Grizzlies. And,
False.
I kind of like that matchup. I like the AD JJJ matchup because of his foul prone, tendencies. I think AD is going to be able to hunt him a little bit and get him in some foul trouble, exert kind of his will on these games. Without the size that Memphis is going to be missing some of their guys, inside, and Steven Adams, Brandon Clark, missing some of that rebounding inside physicality. I kind of feel weirdly more confident about this matchup, and I acknowledge how insane that is, given that Austin Reeves played probably the worst game of his NBA career last night in the playoffs when, the whistles kind of stopped coming. D'Angelo Russell just looked like he forgot how to play basketball for most of the entire
I don't
first
have
three
a minutes
quarters.
log, but I don't think he played in the fourth quarter.
He did, but
he
it was
did.
only it was the final couple seconds on
Oh,
that
that's
Dennis
right, when
Breeze.
Schroeder-
He came in
yeah,
just
they
to
put
get
him in
some
for the shot.
spacing,
Yeah.
but that was it. Otherwise, he did not play in the fourth quarter, and I don't think he played during overtime. It was just that one possession for spacing reasons. So, yeah, I mean, if those two guys are going to play that terribly, and the team can still kind of come up with this amazing Dennis game, I feel weirdly more confident about them. But I understand how insane that is.
Here it comes. Bro.
Yeah. Listen,
I saw your face. I know. I'm ready.
Let me pour some cold water on this. From a Minnesota Timberwolves perspective, if you have a guy French punch his way out of a playoff game, and then have another guy wall punch his way out of a playoff period, and Naz Reid, probably one of the better rotational bigs in the league, unavailable, you still come out, punch the Lakers square in the face. They can't guard old man Mike Conley. Old man River is slanging that thing. In addition to this, I tweeted this out. I texted this to the guys because they were going after Bron. This wasn't something where, Bron, they're ending up on Bron, so they're moving. No, they were seeking Bron out through pick and rolls and cooking him. Like full walk, fire, flame.
But we haven't got playoff
Bron
Bron yet, Browner.
Bruh,
Yesterday's game
listen
doesn't
to
even
me.
count. It's
that was just play in Bron.
That was play in
he,
Bron.
He activated only play in
Right.
mode. Playoff mode
Right.
includes the defense.
Why
That's
would
the
I
firmware
exert?
update
Why
for
would
7-game
LeBron exert this energy for a game where the stats don't even matter? They
and it wasn't
erased the
even
stats.
must win. They had another game on. They had another game on Friday.
Right.
He knew he's pacing himself. That's load management, baby.
Yeah, I don't know why. And plus, why are you crediting old man Conley and then picking on old man Bron? Of course.
Yeah. How many guys was Mike Conley guarding?
Of course, they're going
old.
after the old man. What are they going to go after? Vanderbilt, Beasley, AD. They're not going to go at Reeves. They're not going to go after those guys. What's the biggest weakness defensively? The old man.
Bro, it was old man on old man violence. It was Mike Conley going at Bron.
I don't know. I look at Anthony Edwards' stat sheet and I'm like, Bron did a very good job.
Bad. Well, no, Jared
Wasn't his primary
Vanderbilt.
defender, but yeah, we can go ahead and
There was
Bron.
times
he needs the win.
There was times that most of the times they were switching to get Edwards on Bron, and then Edwards would just settle for threes. I don't know what he was doing, but
yeah, Anthony Edwards was horrific last night.
Terrible.
That was probably the worst. Yeah.
It's kind of one of those platforms where you can see a young guy who's gonna be a great player just kind of have a moment. And it went the opposite way for Anthony Edwards. I thought this was a game that he would dominate and just be able to go in and do things in the paint. And he was settling. And that's what's crazy is it wasn't Edwards. It was Mike Conley. It was everybody else. And the Wolves were kicking ass. If Edwards had a remotely decent game, the Wolves win easy. And he just did nothing, especially after he landed on that shoulder. He just didn't seem like he wanted any part of that game.
I think that was a situation where, because I don't even think it was that. I think great players have a moment where, like you said, Kobe had this before too, where you just stink in a game and you realize I can't do that again. I'm too good for that. And I think Anthony Edwards is on that level. It just so happened he had this moment against the Lakers on such a national stage at a point where the game got close. And this was a good moment to make his mark. And he just didn't seem to be there.
Yeah.
His explosion off the dribble is well documented. His first step, well documented. He used none of it. He literally used none of it in favor of threes because, again, Cat made a bunch of threes in the first quarter where you go, okay, these are going in now. In the fourth quarter, we don't think these will go in.
That's what we were talking about before you jumped in, Harrison. Cat was just settling at the end. Like, what was he doing? He was just with large amounts of
his
shot
game,
clock,
right?
too.
Like he's, his whole thing is I'm the best shooting big man of all time. And, like statistically, he has an argument for that title, in terms of his 3-point shooting for a guy his size. He is a really good shooter. For Edwards, he was really bad. And that's not anything necessarily the Lakers directly did. But I do think that they deserve some credit for just employing the defensive strategy of saying, okay, we're not letting him get to the rim. We're going to play off of him on these picks. We're going to sort of, we're going to hedge on these screens, or we're going to drop, we're not going to directly chase him around and try and chase him from behind or anything like that. We're going to, if he's going to beat us with threes, so be it. And those are sort of the types of game plan choices you have to make in the playoffs where you're playing against only good teams with almost only good players. And you got to pick the least of all the bad options. And for them, I think that was hey, if he goes, 8 of 10 from 3 or 8 of 12 from 3, then we're just going to lose. And that's just how it is because we can't defend everything. And I think they deserve some degree of credit for that. Although obviously they never in their wildest dreams could have hoped that he was going to shoot that poorly from distance. Even that was even bad for him.
It was really bad. I mean, started really good, ended really bad. Harrison, going forward, so you got Memphis now. You're the 7th seed. You're in after starting 2-10. Who knows what we all thought was going to happen with the injuries or whatever. So they finished 7th. They take on the Grizzlies. They got a whole new roster. They've been very, very good since the trade deadline. Very, very good since the trade deadline. What is their biggest weakness against the Grizzlies?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So many people have asked me what are the strength, what are the, I think, biggest weakness for me, and this is, I mean, to some degree this is obvious, but I think it's who is going to guard Ja Morant. I think that is a really big question, especially given the starting lineup that the Lakers have used over the sort of this last closing stretch of the season. The LeBron, AD, Jared Vanderbilt, Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. It's not going to be Russell, or at least that's not going to go well. I don't think Reeves can do it. I think Ja is going to be too quick for him. I mean, Austin, that may be what they try, but I'm not sure that that's going to work. Or they may try Vando, who they've tried on a lot of different types of players. They used him on everyone from Shea to Brandon Ingram. He's sort of been their designated wing guard stopper in that starting lineup, but I'm not sure if he has the length for sure to bother Ja, but I'm not sure he has the speed, and I'm not sure that that's going to go well. And so the big question for me is who does end up sort of getting it? Does Ja just cook them the whole playoffs and they try to force other guys to beat them? They send doubles, stuff like that. Or, I would not be surprised, honestly, especially given Darvin Ham's love of Dennis Schroeder and how he played last night, to see Dennis eventually end up in the starting lineup just as a sort of, we're going to mirror your minutes with Ja as a guy, ball pressure, sort of not allow them to get into their sets as quickly, just sort of be as pesky as you possibly can because you are sort of the right size guy and temperament to potentially do this matchup. But again, that's not a great option either. So that's sort of my, if you're looking for biggest weakness, I think it's how do they contain Ja? Because JJJ, I think they can do a good job on between, AD going at him on offense and trying to make him force him into fouls, as well as, if there's anyone qualified to sort of guard him on the other end, it's Anthony Davis, who is sort of the prototype, for what Jaren Jackson is sort of hoping to become. But so it's Ja that's definitely the big question mark for me.
Yeah.
See, I think the game plan, if after watching Darvin Ham coach this team for a year, I think what we're gonna see is him look at Ja Morant and go, you're gonna get whatever you're gonna get. The rest of y'all, no. And I think that is probably going to be the avenue that Darvin Ham played in the league. Darvin Ham knows there's certain defenses, doesn't matter what you do, that guy's going to do what he's going to do. We don't have the faculties to compete with that on the defensive end. So what we can do is make sure Desmond Bain doesn't make 6 threes. What we can do is make sure Dylan Brooks doesn't do what he does. What we can do is make sure Anthony Davis can lock down Jaren Jackson Jr. Those are the things that they can control. John Morant getting 35 doesn't beat you. John Morant getting 25 with 9 assists, Desmond Bain getting 24, Dylan Brooks getting 18, Jaren Jackson getting 18 and 15, that beats you. So I don't see him looking at this matchup and going, hey, man, Dennis Schroeder, you, Jared Vanderbilt, you guys are going to be this tandem because we got to focus on stopping Ja. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I think that is a good point. And, sort of going back to the Edwards stuff that we were just talking about a minute ago, the strategy may just be, Vando, you're going to guard him. You're going to play a step off of him. If Ja's going to beat us with the 3, then that is what it is. I think that you're going to see some sort of like 2010 finals Rondo levels of Caitlin Clark levels of disrespect played to Dylan to Dylan Brooks and his jumper, just to see if you can entice Dylan into saying it's Dylan time and I'm going to win this matchup for the Grizzlies, because that is a strategy that some teams have employed pretty well against Memphis over the years. So you may see sort of some stuff like that to see if you can, put Austin Reeves on Dylan and just see if he's like, okay, I'm going to cook this guy. Let me go. I'm going to, I'm going to take 25 shots tonight. Job's not touching the ball in the second half, and see if you can sort of beat them that way may sort of be your answer as we're sort of, game planning and talking this out like we're the Lakers assistant coaching staff.
Harrison Faigen from SB Nation joining us right now, our NBA insider. Harrison, how convinced are you with the job or the ability that Darvin Ham has done and will do going forward?
So this has definitely been a hot button topic, and I can tell by the way you're asking it that you definitely know. I think Darvin has demonstrated some strengths this year. I think that, number one, keeping this team bought in through all the turbulence, all the roster turnover, all the losing that they were dealing with when they didn't really have a real NBA roster for 3/4 of the season, something like that, keeping the team engaged and continuing to execute and get wins, even when they were undermanned, even when their stars were out. I think especially of that stretch where AD was out and they could have, I thought we recorded a podcast when AD took that injury and I thought the season was over. I was like, there's no way they're going to win enough without AD to even be in the play-in race, much less, in almost playoff positioning. Like they were about 1 game short of the 6th seed. I didn't think anything like that was possible when AD went down. And then again, after the trade deadline, no one let go of they had the sort of emotional and talent boost of the trade deadline additions, but LeBron was, even for that like best record in the West since the trade deadline stat that everyone keeps throwing out, a good chunk of that was without LeBron.
Right.
And just keeping guys fighting and that engaged and executing on a night-to-night basis, I think has been a real strength of Darvin. Where I think that you've seen sort of the rookie coach foibles are a little bit of, sometimes I think they've had better game plans than they're given credit for, but I also think that there is a real hesitancy on his part and a real, sometimes inability seemingly to deviate from whatever that game plan was. You saw it in, there was a game a couple weeks ago, I forget what opponent it was, but where they just decided, okay, Rui's out of the rotation tonight. We're giving Lonnie a shot because he was good last game. And it's just like, no, like you need that size. Lonnie cannot guard threes. We saw this the whole first 25 games of the season or whatever it may be. That's not something that's going to work. And, sometimes there's a little bit, I think, too much of a mentality for like either you're going to reward guys who played well last game or you're going to like keep playing guys. You're going to keep the rotation too long because you don't want to lose anyone that has cost them at times during the regular season. But I also thought that last night there were some encouraging signs on that front when he went, Wenyen only played 2 minutes. He got the like couple quick fouls on Cat, and then he did not play the entire second half. They went to LeBron at center. Huh?
Is Mo Bamba hurt?
Yeah, no Mo Bamba. Or Wenyen?
Mo Bamba.
No. I thought he was available last night. He just didn't play him.
Yeah, Mo Bamba's available, but I don't think he would have been good in that matchup. And I think they were.
I know
right
he went
to
with
go to
LeBron guarding, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they went to LeBron at center in the second half. And I think that really opened some things up in terms of that kind of 5-out lineup, like we saw a little bit last year when the Lakers went to that out of desperation. I do think that that's a real asset for them, for 5-minute stretches or something. And I also think that, last night we saw Malik Beasley play just a couple minutes. We saw, D'Angelo Russell completely benched down the stretch until that kind of final possession that we talked about. And so I do think that we're starting to see some of the screws tightening, even if I know every single Lakers fan would rather rather him be going to, okay, 8-man rotation, Rui's playing every single night. You're trying to go big, but we've seen Darvin's preference is to play small a lot of the time. Like, he likes those skilled lineups. He likes those skilled guards. And, but right now, the team the Lakers have, he sometimes is coaching the team he wants versus the one that he does have. But again, I think that we saw a little bit going away from that last night. And so I'm encouraged, but I do think that there are times, with whether it's with challenge usage at times, timeout usage, rotations, where you can definitely tell that he is a first-year head coach for sure.
We got about 20 seconds here, Harrison. So let's just ask. I know they don't play till Sunday, I believe. How do you think that series plays out against Memphis?
Lakers in 6. I'm optimistic about this matchup. I am.
We'll see what happens. Browner's face says it all. Harrison Faigen, our NBA insider from SB Nation. Always appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much. And if I'm sure we'll talk to you before the series is over, but if it does pan out that way, I will plaster Browner's face over your prediction when you're right.
I was going to say, I think his face is the YouTube thumbnail for this episode.
100%.
It's just like Harrison, you just put title Harrison Faigen, Lakers in 6, and then just Browner's face. There you go. I just did social media gold for you.
Thank you very much. Harrison Faigen, always appreciate it. We'll be right back.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and YurView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
Welcome to the Super Dentists, where kids are the center of our universe. Serving San Diego for over 25 years, the Super Dentists offer the newest dental technologies to provide safe and comfortable treatments for the entire family. We've reimagined the entire dental experience by creating a fun and engaging atmosphere featuring our heroic dentists and award-winning super crew. Book your appointment now. Extended hours and Saturday appointments available. Call or text 855-GO-SUPER or visit thesuperdentist.com.
I was injured in a car crash. I had no idea how much my case was worth. I called the Barnes firm.
When a truck hit my son, I had so many questions about his case. I called the Barnes firm. It was the best call I could have made.
Your case is often worth more than insurance offers. Call the Barnes firm to find out what your case could be worth. We will help you get the best result possible.
The Barnes firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-million.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that, most notably those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
Welcome Welcome to the Super Dentist, where kids are the center of our universe. Serving San Diego for over 25 years, the Super Dentists offer the newest dental technologies to provide safe and comfortable treatments for the entire family. We've reimagined the entire dental experience by creating a fun and engaging atmosphere featuring our heroic dentists and award-winning super crew. Book your appointment now. Extended hours and Saturday appointments available. Call or text 855-GO-SUPER or visit thesuperdentist.com.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.